Loves, this is your Earth Angel, Miyaka Orissa, and I am here again, loving you the mostest. So this evening, we're going to talk about the dark spirit of suicide. Right? Many of us have either experienced the torment of that spirit, right? Or someone we know and love has been tormented by that spirit. Okay? So I have a testimony of my own, right? But first I'd like to say that I was on the internet and I happened across a video that disturbed me greatly. It disturbed me greatly for two reasons. The fact that it was on the internet, and the second reason is because I could relate. I could totally relate, right? So what I happened across was a video of a young lady. She was about 14 years old. She hung herself from a tree and recorded it. You have to understand the dark torment that demonic spirit puts on a person to drive them to that, right? But they can only do what they do by that broken, unhealed, infected place within you, right? That's how they get in to torment you. So like I said before, I have a testimony of my own when it comes to suicide and that tormenting dark spirit, right? So I'm going to reveal myself, right? I'm going to open my wings a little wide so you can see me a bit better, okay? From childhood, the time I can remember, about 1.5, 2 years old, okay, I was being molested and raped and abused in many different ways, okay, by my stepfather and a couple other maternal family members, right? And so my life, from what I could begin to remember it as, was nothing but pain and suffering, okay? What topped it off was the fact that my mother would medicate my vagina when he was done with me. Yeah, soak that up. That's reality, right? My mother medicated my vagina when he was done. So she knew, right? So no one was there to rescue me from this darkness that I had stepped into, right? No one was there to relieve me of the abuse and the torment, right? The darkness that consumed me of their life, who they were, what they were, right? And how it greatly affected me. So for many years, as a little girl, I thought of ways to end my torment, okay? A little girl, I'm talking 5, 6, 7, right? That dark spirit of suicide kept pressing down harder on me, right? Convincing me of all the reasons why, right, I needed to go ahead and just do it, whatever it was, right? Because again, I was a little girl, so I really hadn't had an idea of how to kill yourself, right? So I matured and grew, right? The abuse continued, right? My mother continued to medicate me. Right? Secrets were kept. Falsehoods were faced. Masks were worn. Right? So, again, every day was a torment for me. Every day. Right? I loved going to school because I hated being at home. A lot of you know that. You know that. You loved going to school. Now, once you got there, you couldn't even focus because all the stuff that was going on in your mind that you had to deal with when you got back home. Right? So you couldn't even focus there, but it was just a reprieve from the madness. Right? Nobody knew. Nobody knew what I was going through because we couldn't tell. You had to keep that secret. Right? You had to wear that face. Okay? You don't talk about what go on behind their doors. Right? But what go on behind their doors needed to be screamed from the highest mountaintop. Right? So, kind of like to speed things up a little bit. I always had wanted to, end my torment because I saw no way out. No one was there. People saw. They could see it. They could see that something was wrong. Even if they didn't know exactly what that something was, they could see that something was wrong. And again, I'm a little girl, right? And I'm looking for all these grown folk, right? And again, I mind you, my mother is medicating my vagina, right? So where's my help coming from? Okay, who was saving me? So the best thing I could think of to do was just end it. End it. Come up with a way. End it. Right? As you can see, Miyaka, and this is that dark demonic spirit of suicide. As you can see, it's not going to get any better. All right? Every day you wake up, right, it's more abuse. Now, sidebar from all this abuse I'm going through, it's all this spiritual stuff happening in my life, right? All this spiritual activity, right? Because see, I wasn't an ordinary kid. I was a kid with gifts, right? So that made the darkness that much more darker. That made the abuse feel that much more abusive because I'm so sensitive. I'm sensitive to everything and everyone and the good and the bad. I'm sensitive, right? I can feel it as if it's my own, right? So I was about 18 years old at this point now, okay? I had attempted different ways and, played with it a little bit because from time to time, that dark demonic spirit had kind of convinced me, go ahead, take those pills, right? Kind of convinced me, go ahead. This is my reality, right? I just really, real talk, I just wanted the pain to stop. I just wanted the pain to stop. I wanted to go back home. I didn't like it here and nothing of it, none of the people. I was ready to go back home. Okay, so my reason for coming here, I'm gonna have to start over another way because I don't want to do it in this way. I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. All right, so I was about 18 years old. I'm a mother at the time. My daughter was like about 8 months old, so she couldn't walk. All right, she couldn't talk. She could crawl, sit up. Do that 8-month-old baby stuff, right? And at this time, my plan, I had a plan. I had a plan for my life. I had a plan for myself. I always knew who I was. Always, right? But regardless of that, everything that thought it could or would come up against me did, right? So this earth angel, that didn't matter. That didn't matter. My wings were so broken. I had been through so much, and I was again, just 18. All right. So now at this time, I'm a mother. My daughter's 8 months old. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. That dark demonic spirit had convinced me that my mother could raise my baby better than me. I wasn't worthy to mother her. Okay? I wasn't worthy to protect her and raise her. Right? And be everything to her, for her, that my mother was not for me. That dark demonic spirit convinced me. Right? I was too broken to mother her. Right? Now, let's rewind back. She was my reason for living. She was my reason for living. I needed something to give me a reason not to end it. Right? I needed something to anchor me here. Right? Because I had so many wounds and holes and gapping, infected places within me just from me coming up, right, to 18. I had so much for that dark demonic spirit to work with. Okay? So, again, 8-month-old baby, cannot walk, cannot talk. I'm in my own apartment. Everything that, in my mind, could continue to go wrong was going wrong, right? I despised being on ADC. That's what it was called, Aid to Dependent Children. I despised it. I hated that. That's not what the plan was. Her father and I were supposed to get married, right? He was supposed to save me from all that madness, from my mother and him and them, right? So again, here I am in my apartment with my 8-month-old baby being tormented to death. All right? So I couldn't pay my bills. I didn't have a job. I didn't trust anyone, right, to take care of my daughter. I had no one. Even if I could trust someone, I had no one, right? So I chose to sit until my daughter could talk and walk and speak for herself and tell me what was going on while I was gone, right? I waited to get a job. I waited to get out there into the world to make things happen for her and us. Because I was so afraid that if I walked away for a minute, something was going to happen to her that happened to me, right? And that's a pain a mother cannot take away from a child. I don't care how much medicine she puts on it. I'm sorry, all right? So again, you know, that night, I couldn't take it anymore. He kept convincing me of all the reasons why I needed to go ahead and slit my wrist. Right? Now this is real deal right here. You slitting your wrist. To me, that's equivalent to her hanging herself. Right? Ooh. Yeah, I did that. So I went across the street, got a 40 ounce of beer. I'm not a drinker. I'm small. So one cup did me in. I was done. Right? So I went and got a 40 ounce of beer. My daughter could sleep through everything. She could sleep through everything. Right? A vacuum next to her head, a fight, a party, anything going on. She could sleep through it without a flinch. Okay? So again, I go get this 40 ounce. My daughter's in the back bedroom, knocked out. All right. I literally cut up my fingertips trying to get the blade out of the shaver. The whole time, the whole entire time, I'm trying to pry. Right? Because I didn't have no money to go buy a blade, so I had to work with what I had. Right? So I had some shavers. So again, I'm cutting up my fingertips trying to get this blade out of the shaver. Okay? Finally, I succeed. I get it out. I go to the front of the apartment building. All right? I lock the doors. I turned off my phone. So when you turn off your phone, and see, these were the landline phones back then, on the cradle, right? Turned off the phone, the ringer, so it's not supposed to ring. Am I correct? All right? So again, y'all taking me back down memory lane, but we're going to talk about this so we can talk about that. All right? So again, bloody fingertips, sobbing. And I'm just saying, God, please, I need you to do something. I need you to do something. Because when I say that demonic spirit of suicide was tormenting me, it's like he was on my neck. Literally on my neck. Okay? I couldn't get up from under him and his pressure, even if I tried. Right? He was winning. He had a lot to work with. Right? So again, front of my apartment. Blade, telephone, radio, turn it up, 40-ounce cigarettes. So I'm rocking, praying, right? Father God, please forgive me for what I am about to do. But I can't do this no more. I can't do it no more. Right? Picked up that blade. Now, sidebar for a second. I lived in an apartment building. To get into my apartment building, you had to be buzzed through 2 doors. Someone had to buzz you in the first door, and in order to get you to the apartment that you wanted to get to or go to, you had to be buzzed through a second door, right? 2 doors. So again, got the line up on the table. I'm rocking, praying, I'm crying, I'm sobbing. My baby's in the back, knocked out. The ringer's off. That dark demonic spirit said to me, go on and pick up that blade. The sooner the better. I picked up the blade. And I cut. When I say to you, your God, my God, our God is an awesome God, right? Because soon as I slit, I looked and my whole hand and wrist instantly got cold. I could see my veins. It was like that thin layer of slime, meat stuff covering my veins. It's like I was that close. Now, at this same time, my daughter, that baby who could sleep through everything, all right? I did not make a sound. I did not cry out. None of that. All right? That same baby, 8 months old, cannot walk, cannot talk, okay? She's screaming and hollering you could hear the rattle in the back of her throat. So it took my attention away from my wrist. So I jump up, I run to the back because she was screaming like she was cut. All right? So my mind instantly went up, mother, goose, hen, eagle, hawk, kicked in. All right? I wasn't thinking about none of my pain, the torment, the blood, none of that. So I run to the back of the apartment, I flip on the light. This 8-month-old baby who could not walk, who could not talk, who could not stand up on her own, was standing in the middle of my bed with her arms out to me. She had her arms out to me and she's screaming and hollering. She's standing in the middle of the bed, nothing, holding on to nothing, just standing there, screaming and hollering. So I run over, I grab her up, and I got her in front of me because I'm starting to get cold and weak. So now reality is kicking in and reminding me of what's really happening. Miaka, you're dying. Miaka, you're dying. You're getting what you asked for. You're dying. But I'm like, but wait, my baby, right? That baby grabbed my hand, my face in her hands, and she's screaming and hollering, screaming at me in my face. My ears could hear the screaming, but all within my body, I could hear her saying, don't leave me, I need you, don't leave me with her. Okay, this is reality. Okay, wait, this baby, again, she's screaming. But all throughout me, I could hear her as she was touching my face, holding my face in her hands. Don't leave me, I need you, don't leave me. So now, okay, I got to do something. You know, so at the same time, I'm getting weaker and weaker. And she was a big fat baby, all right? So she's sliding down me because she's a big fat baby, and I can't hold her up much longer. So at this time, I cry out, God, please help me. I don't want to die. My phone starts ringing. That same phone I turned off started ringing. I could feel like I had enough energy in me to get all the way back up to the front of the apartment building. I grabbed the phone and I just yelled into the phone, please help me, I don't want to die. Somebody please just help me. And I dropped the phone and my body went back up against the wall, right across from the door to the apartment, the entryway. All right, so this is the main door to my apartment. All right. So I fall back up against the wall. I got my baby, she's sliding down me. All right. I dropped the phone. And so I just go down and I just was feeling cold and things appeared to start tunneling. All right. Now I feel that this was happening in the speed that it was happening because my adrenaline was rushing. My baby started crying. So now my heart is pumping. So it was really, blood is everywhere. Blood is everywhere. All over my baby. All over me. All over the apartment. Blood was everywhere. Right? And so again, I yelled in the phone and just sat back up against the wall. Okay? 5 minutes later, there's a knock at my door. I just lean forward, turn the knob, and I let in my saving grace, my blessing. Right? He was my blessing. He was my friend from high school who had worked, I say about half a mile up from my apartment. He was working in a beauty salon. And he said that he was in the middle of putting a perm in this lady's head. And out of nowhere, God said to him, call Miaka. All right. Now, I can't say how spiritual or religious this friend was at the time. You know, we were teenagers. So I was 19, 18 years old. So he had to be like about 22, 21 maybe. Right. So I can't say where his head was at when he came to God at the time. Okay? And so, also, I had never spoken to anyone really about what I'd been through throughout my life up to that point. All right? I had not vented that to anyone. So people saw me in a particular way. They hadn't even known that I was ever abused. Like in high school, middle school. They didn't know. They didn't know. No. So, again, he says that God said to him, call Miaka. He says he's thinking to himself, well, okay, well, I'm going to call her after I finish putting this perm in this lady's head. All right? He said God yelled at him, no, call her now. All right? So, it frightened him. So he heard it, went, got the phone. All right, this is before they had cell phones. So you had to go get that landline. Right? So, went, got the phone, called my apartment, and when he rang my line, he heard me saying, "Please help me, I don't want to die." So he just took off running to my apartment building. He just left the lady in the chair, left her with the perm in her hair, just took off running down to my apartment. Now again, to get into my apartment, you had to be buzzed in 2 doors. I'm on the floor, right? I didn't even hear a buzz, because you can hear it from your apartment. You can hear the buzz, right? But you got to push the button, right? He said no one was there to let him in. He was running. He just snatched open the first door, snatched open the second door, ran down to my apartment, was right there at my door. And so when I heard that knock in the door, and I turned the knob, and it was him. It was him. So he came in, rushed in, grabbed me up. What's going on? It was chaotic. It's blood everywhere. My baby's screaming and hollering. I'm crying, bleeding. I'm fading out. All right. So he wanted to call the police, and I begged him, please don't call the police. Please don't call the ambulance. Please. They'll take my baby from me. Just help me. Help me. Help me not die. Okay. So he said to me, "Miyaka, you have to promise you will never, ever do this again." Now, at this time, when I made this promise to him, I hadn't even had my baby, my second child yet, who passed away from SIDS. That was another one. See, I hadn't even went through that yet, right? And that's enough to make any mother want to die. That just by itself, the loss of your child. Okay? So, I promised him that I would never do it again, right? Now, he said he had Boy Scout skills, right? And hell, I used to be a Girl Scout. So I figure with both of our heads together, we can work this out. We don't have to call the police, okay? Hi, Stacy. So, he takes my wrist. We're in debate. We're up under the kitchen sink. Our baby is on the floor, full blood, still screaming and hollering. So we're debating over my wrist up under the sink. Up under the water at the kitchen sink. And he's telling me, "Miyaka, you have to promise me. You have to promise me now." And I'm like, I promise, I promise. And so he fixed me up, worked me out, right? He worked me out so good that to look at my wrist today, you can't even tell. You can't even tell, but I can. It's my reminder. It's my reminder of that torment, that dark, demonic spirit of suicide that was tormenting me, right? And he was tormenting me with all the dark, demonic, foul, vile things that had been done to me since I was a little girl, right? So, moving back to current, that's my story, that's my testimony, okay? Now, again, when I saw this young lady take her life and record it, I didn't know in detail what broke the camel's back. I didn't know in detail what that dark demonic spirit had been pressing down hard on her about, right? But I knew what led her to the ladder, to the rope, to the ledge. I knew the darkness, that pain that baby was going through had to be so deep, right? That she couldn't hear nothing but that dark demonic spirit of suicide. Okay? So, a lot of people, this is not about religion. Nope, this is not about religion, the church, or none of that. That dark demonic spirit of suicide is real. Okay? That dark demonic spirit of suicide is real. And it torments so many every day. Right? Every day. So many are tormented by that dark demonic spirit of suicide. Right? But see, not everybody has that saving grace, that angel, right, that came running from that beauty salon to rescue them, right? A lot of times people are blown off. People will tell you, they say it. You know, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that type of way. I wish I was dead. They tell you things. They kind of throw hints out there, how they're feeling and where they're at, right? But for the most part, the people who are listening, because that's not they don't have that particular torment being done to them, they can't understand. Kill yourself. What the hell, man? You tripping, right? Girl, bye. You want to what? You better smoke this blunt. You better hit this shot. Quit tripping. Come on. No. All right. So again, people throw little hints and throw things out there, hoping somebody will catch it, but they don't. Right? To know and realize that you are being tormented by suicide and the darkness of it, sometimes you feel a little embarrassed, because you've heard the comments that others have said about, you know, what they think of someone who's even considered it. Right? But until that darkness is pressed down on you, don't you judge. Don't you judge. Be a blessing. Be a blessing. Be a blessing and a vessel through which you can be used, right? To rid someone you love, someone you care about, from that torment of that demonic spirit of suicide, right? It comes in, it creeps in many ways. For many different people, it's different reasons, right? Right? And a lot of times, you know, we're so caught up in our own lives, and we're caught up in our own worlds, our own stuff, that we don't hear them crying out. And when we do hear them crying out, oh man, quit tripping. You good, right? But they're not, right? They're not. And it's not till you get that call, or you get that confirmation that the demonic spirit of suicide won over them, then now you start to thinking, dang, what could I have done? What could have I said? You know, if I'd have just took 5 minutes and taken them seriously. And real talk, sometimes that's all you have to do. It just takes 5 minutes to take them seriously. Okay? So, those of you who are being tormented by this demonic, dark spirit of suicide, and whatever is pressing down on you about, my baby, I urge you, run to the highest mountain, run to everybody's door, scream and yell, look, I'm fucking serious. Yeah. I'm serious. I can't do this no more. Again, it's not that they don't want to live. They just want the pain to stop. They want somebody to throw them an anchor. They want somebody to pull them back. That's a lonely place to be when you are being tormented by that darkness. Oh, that pisses me off. People right there, sitting right there next to you. And they don't even see. They don't even see. You know, I thank God that He fashioned me this way, because I've been able to catch a few people who were leaning in too much to that demonic spirit and the crap it was talking. Right? I thank God that I was able to see. I thank God that I was able to see. Minding my business in my home, wasn't even there. But when I say God allowed me to just see the whole vision of, which is how I was able to step in and stop the madness. Love them out of it. Because real talk, that's all it takes, is you loving them out of the darkness. Right? You got to love them away from the edge. All right? Just grab them and embrace them. Tell them all the awesome things about them. Listen to them. Let them vent it to you. Just listen. Right? And again, to you, everything that's about to break them down could be nothing in your life, but it's real to them. You never know. We never know how weak or strong an individual is until they've broken. Right? But there were signs before they broke that they were cracking. Right? It's just that wasn't nobody paying attention to their pain, to their pleas and petitions. Right? Will somebody, you know, we're all connected. We are all connected. We all belong to each other. We are all responsible for each other. Yes, we are. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are. Well, you know, that ain't none of my business. Yes, it is some of your business. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's all of our business. All right? It's all of our business. You know, again, we got to heal those places within, so the darknesses cannot destroy us with it. All right? We got to heal those infected places of the darknesses, right? Sins and transgressions that folks have left us with. Okay? You see, that's what those demonic spirits work with. Work on. Work you over. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I am sorry for what you've been through. I am sorry for what they've done to you. I am so sorry for the torment. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. All right? You need to know it does not end there. It does not have to end with all of that, all that you've been through, all that they've done being your reality. You're not meant to live up to others' expectations. Okay? We can't live up to others' expectations. Right? Because see, when we letting them down, who we beat up on? Ourselves. Yeah, we beat up on ourselves. Right? Mothers who have lost your children to suicide. Right? And I'm speaking to the mothers, not the mammies. Not those women who gave birth to children. I'm talking about mothers. Mothers who have lost your child to suicide. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for your pain. Right? I am so sorry for your loss. All right? Understand, it wasn't you. Again, this only applies to the mothers, right, who are beating themselves up. What did I do? What could I have done? I did not know, right? Don't fault yourself. Do not fault yourself. There's much more going on in your child's life than you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And sometimes some darknesses can override the power and the magnanimity of the love we give our children. Sometimes we think that love should be enough to make them want to be here, make them want to live, right? So we can love them some more, right? See, sometimes our children, they are afflicted by things that we can't kiss away. You know, like bullying. You know what I'm saying? Certain abuses, right? Living a life that they know is not their truth, but because the expectation is so great upon them to live this life that particular way that others have put on them, and then when they fail and fall short, right? See, again, it's a whole lot going on than just you. And not every situation that happens to your baby, your child, are you able to touch, kiss away, love away. And I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. That's just reality. Your child, as well as you, is a spirit clothed in flesh, having human experiences. Right? So I want you to stop beating you up now. Release yourself from that. Right? Oh. So again, you know, the dark demonic spirit of suicide has taken many of our loved ones. Right? It has affected many, you know, that we love and care about. And somebody knows somebody somewhere. Right? I hope after you see this broadcast that, you know, you start being a little more attentive, active listening. You know? Because again, people, they're saying, they're throwing hints. Are we listening? Are we listening? Fathers, I am so sorry. Fathers, I speak this to fathers, not pappies. No, not the man that fertilized the egg. Right? Fathers who have lost a child, a loved one, someone you care about, to suicide. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Release yourself from that bondage. The bondage of the darkness that your loved ones leaving left you with. Don't you torment yourself. Okay? Don't you let that spirit of guilt torment you. Right? Because fathers, they feel like they can fix everything. They are the protectors, the providers. Right? So for something to fall broken within their family, they take that personal. Right? Those fathers, the failure of the family, they take that personal. Yep. Don't carry that. Don't carry that. Don't you let that spirit of guilt torment you. You either, mothers, right? Brothers and sisters, loved ones who have lost someone to suicide. Don't beat yourself up. If I woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? Utilize your understanding and reality, right? To right position you, okay? So that it could be a mile away. Somebody else's child. What? What? Your spidey senses tingling? What? What? You hear it? Somebody's, what? You on your way. You can see the girl standing at that corner, waiting on the bus, but she looks so heavy and so down, like she can barely stand there. You know what that means. Something's pressing down on her, right? A lot of times we see folks look like they got pressure, look like something pressing down on them, somebody, some situation or circumstance, right? An illness even, pressing down on them. You feel me? We got to start paying more attention. These folks belong to us and we belong to them. All right? Your neighbor across the street, yeah, they're responsible for you and you're responsible for them. There is no such thing as 6, 7, 8, 5, 3 degrees of separation. No. The only thing that connects us is our mind. Okay? That's the only thing that disconnects us is how we think. All right? So again, we're all responsible for each other. We all must take care of each other. Right? And again, we got to heal. We have to seal up the cracks and the crevices and the gaping holes through which these dark demonic spirits torment us with. Right? You got to take the power back. You got things to do. See? The darkness wouldn't do what it was doing and what it's doing if you wasn't worth it. Now, some folks don't even get the sweat on the brow in terms of going through something in their life. Right? Their journey. Right? God's will for them ain't the one he got for you. You a weapon. See, it's usually the weapons of mass destruction that are here clothed in flesh, right? That God fashioned so awesomely to come here to do some awesome things, right? The darkness knew you was coming. You may not know who you are, but they do, right? So the plot and the plan had it been put into action on your life long before your mother even pushed. They knew you were coming. Okay? So again, this is why some people, they don't get the abuses. They don't get the illnesses and the, diverted distractions. The darknesses that weigh them down and hinder them and anchor them to nothingnesses and more nothingnesses. And then in a quicksand of nowhere. All right? They don't even get that. But when you are awesomely fashioned, when God Goddess blew that holy breath on you, right? And ordained you to come here and play your part, okay? They wasn't going to let you come here and do that easily, okay? So you have to understand and know, if you were not who and what you are in that divine, spiritual way, Satan wouldn't even waste his time. He wouldn't even send none of his troops at you. He wouldn't. You notice how the thief and the murderer and the deceiver and those out there living all kind of foul, they don't get messed with like the lights, the healers, the lovers of the world, right? Because see, we're what changes that. We are what can alter, right, and heal this world, and the darkness is in it. See, you bring us all together, oh boy, talking about a spirit bomb, a spirit bomb of power and love and healing. Better watch out now. So you think they gonna actually let that go down and happen so easily? No. That's why it took something years, all right, for me to get to this seat. It took something years for me to get to this seat. Okay? So again, we have to heal. We have to take back the reins close them doors, right? Seal up the gaps, right? So that that darkness can't have its way with us. The darkness can't keep doing what it's doing. Okay? We must heal. That's where all the power begins. First you gotta heal. Yeah? Gotta peel off the thick suede, leather, cowhide layers of the darknesses of flesh that have been left upon you. You know what I'm saying? And I am here to help you do that. So, again, we got to seal up the cracks. Right? We got to quit making it easy for these attacks to come. We got to quit allowing ourselves to be spiritually infiltrated. Okay? We got to quit giving them access ways, that darkness. Quit giving them access ways to get in, tear us down, destroy us, devour us. Okay? That has been Satan's plan from the beginning, to destroy everything God created. Okay? And he pulls out every stop. He implements every plan, every minion, every demon, to do so. Destroy everything God created. Okay? So, I love you, my darlings. I love you the mostest. And again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what you've been through. I'm sorry for what they've taken you through. But we're going to work it all out. Okay? So I want you to keep up with me, because I'm keeping up with you. We're going to talk about everything. All of it. Okay? Even this New World Order stuff. A divine world order is what's really coming. You heard me? A divine world order trumps that New World Order bullshit. Yeah, I said it. Okay? So, I want you to keep up with me, because I'm keeping up with you. All right? We're going to keep doing this thing, and we're doing it together. And I am loving you the mostest. And I am Yaka Orissa, your Earth Angel, right? So I want you to check me out on Your Earth Angel Speaks on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. Subscribe. Yeah, do that. Subscribe. I keep forgetting about that. Subscribe. Okay? And share, like, and follow. Okay? I love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.